What does it make you think of when I say the name Rings of Saturn? Give you a couple seconds on that. I bet your first thought was about the planet, though, of course. See, when I hear that name, I think of the band, the extremely technical deathcore band, Rings of Saturn. They currently have 5 studio releases, all of which are pretty, acclaimed. They're all good, in my opinion. It's hard to pick a favorite out of them, but today we're going to be talking specifically about the album GIDIM. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rings of Saturn is a band hailing from California. They actually started out as a little studio side project, but once they really started picking it up and albums really started selling, they actually became a full-time band and even started touring in 2016 with the release of Ulta Ula, which is, I don't think that's my favorite album, but it's up there. I'll have to talk about that in another video, because Lugelkian and Dinger are both pretty high quality, really good albums, especially Dinger. For being, I think, their sophomore album, it was really good, and definitely held up to the first album. So this album we're talking about today is GIDIM. It was released October 25th, 2019 under Nuclear Blast Records. Thank God they got signed by Nuclear Blast. I fucking love that record label. They have so many good artists and albums. But I'm getting a little sidetracked talking about the record label. I need to be talking about the band, and I need to be talking about this album. What makes this album unique? Well, aside from insanely fast shredding, picking, and sweeping, it is an explosion of sound, incredibly tuned guitar and synthesizer. And to be quite frank, you kind of can get lost in it. A lot of people don't like technical metal, especially like extreme technical death metal, because, well, it's a little bit too much, and it's not for everybody. I can definitely understand why people don't like this band or like this kind of music. But for me, it's just amazing. I mean, once you actually sit through and listen past the crazy shredding, you actually can hear some melody. In fact, there's a song called Mental Prolapse, and yes, I know, the name kind of makes it sound insane, which it is. Has incredible melody, and I have probably listened to that song 20 times now. I can't stop listening to that song. It is the catchiest Rings of Saturn song, in my opinion, other than Zalusa Zul. I think that's how you say it. I can't pronounce any of their names because I don't know how to. I just got this behemoth mug and I'm enjoying it a lot. It's been helping keep me awake, holding my coffee and my energy drinks. But they've got featuring artists in this song. It's crazy that these guys are a 3-man group. I know they tour with session members, but the writing is so spectacular. They have crazy alternating members too. It's the only consistent member. His I think his name's. Hold on, let me check here. Their only consistent members are Lucas Mann, Ian Bearer, and Joel. And Joel has kind of left and then came back, and I think he's staying in the band. And I know that right now they have a touring drummer. His name's Mike Kudo. I mean, I don't even want to go through the list of fucking past members, but I'm going to, so let's do this. Alright, starting with Ben Gower on bass, Peter Paulak on vocals, Brent Stiletto on drums, Chris Wells on keyboards, synthesizers, and programming, Russ Albert on bass, Brent Glover on bass, Jeff Huggle on bass, John Galloway on vocals, Jack Aldrich on bass, Ron Casey on drums, Sean Martinez on bass, Ian Baker on drums, Jesse Beeler on drums, Aaron Kitcher on drums, Miles Dimitri Baker on guitar, Aaron Stechalner, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, on drums, and they had Yosuka Haga on guitars, while he was touring, I guess, in 2018. That's a long list. That's a really long list of people. But Rings of Saturn, GIDIM, I gotta give this album a 3.5 out of 5 because honestly, the entire album as a whole just kind of feels like more of the same from them. The only songs that really changed, from their past album, at least in terms of formula, was The Husk and Mental Prolapse. So, gets a 3.5 out of the final hammer, and that is the final hammer. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want more content like it, please hit subscribe, like this video, and share it on whatever you want to. This is my first metal review in a pretty long time. It's actually been almost 2 months since I reviewed the Brand of Sacrifice album, which was my last review in general. It's kind of hard to make these sometimes because I just really either enjoy an album or I really don't. There's not much of an in-between. You either get average albums, such as the one I reviewed today, which I enjoyed but didn't like as much as I did some of the other stuff that band recorded, which I would rather talk about. Rings of Saturn is not a bad band by any means. Lucas Mann is a fucking genius, and he's probably the best at what he does. But this album just wasn't my favorite, you know what I mean? And there are days like that. This is the first time I've kind of talked about a metal album that I didn't love, and I hope you guys understand that. Not everything I talk about on this channel I love. Rings of Saturn, I love. I love this band. I mean, I wouldn't be seeing these guys fucking live otherwise. They are good. They are solid, technical, and hardcore, and I love hardcore metal. I love anything to do with metal. We'll see you next time.